On the build show today, I'm going to show you how to install a window with Delta's Vent SA peel and stick house wrap. All right guys, so here's what we got. A window mock-up. I want to show you how to install a window and a few of the details for installing this Delta Vent SA peel and stick house wrap correctly. So first, let's talk about this house wrap. This is a vapor permeable house wrap. It's around 30 perms, 31 perms I think to be exact. This is made by a German company, Delta. The Vent stands for vapor permeable. The SA stands for self-adhering. So this is a peel and stick, but unlike most peel and sticks that I'm used to seeing, this one allows vapor to drive through it. It'll allow vapor to dry to the outside. Kind of a jeans material, very ingenious material. And I love how it's peel and stick on the back, and then when we get to an overlap like this, it also has a peel and stick on the front. So we're gonna rip this off, and now when we overlap those seams, everything is gonna be nice and stuck. I'm gonna have not just a watertight house, but an airtight house, which is vital to me. Okay, so here's how this works. To install this, we're gonna use their primer on the wall first. We're gonna roll that primer right out of the bucket. That primer is called Delta Adhesive LVC. It comes in a 5-gallon bucket. We're gonna roll that on. It's kind of like we're doing a Formica countertop. We're gonna roll that primer on our substrate. In this case, we're using Advantech sheathing. And then that is gonna turn that Advantech into sticky so that when we peel off the sticky backer on this Delta Vent SA, now we've got sticky on sticky, and this house wrap is beautiful. You can see here it runs at about a 5-foot strip, and then we're gonna overlap that. And then for this method of installing the windows, we ran that all the way through the window as if the window wasn't there. Okay, next step, now that that house wrap is on the house, we're actually gonna cut out the window. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna take all 4 corners of the window and run a 45-degree cut, just with a standard knife, up to the center of the window, sometimes referred to as an upside-down martini glass. But we're gonna do that 45 degrees at all sides, so now we've got a strip in the center that's gonna flap in on the sill, on the 2 sides, and on the head. You also wanna notice that our sill is pre-sloped. My framers put these sills and the cripples underneath here on a 5-degree bevel, so any water that gets past that window is gonna be able to roll with gravity to the outside and out. Okay, next step now is we're gonna do all Delta flashing products. We basically just have 2 things here. Delta flashing, which is a peel and stick flashing, and Delta multiband. That's all we need to make these windows. The first step is gonna be using this Delta flashing on the sill. We're gonna run that on the sill, and this is not a flexible flashing material, so we need to treat these corners. We're gonna cut this corner when we put the sill down, and then we're gonna make what's referred to as a dart. All we're gonna do is cover that corner where it's cut, and that's what this dart piece right here is doing. It's gonna cover over that corner, and then we've got one more piece of flashing that covers over top of the dart to make sure everything's shingled correctly. And then the last step to make sure we're continuously airtight here is this Delta multiband tape over that. Now we've got a really nice sill pan. Look at this sill pan, it's totally continuous. So my window gets installed into about 2 inches or so into this opening. Anything inside of that window is going to be totally waterproof and airtight. The final step on here is going to be treating the top of the window. We also want to make sure that's both water and airtight. And for the top, all we're going to use is the Delta multiband tape. We're going to run that on both 45-degree cut corners. Then we're going to run a strip at the very top of the head, and then one more small piece on the very front just to make sure everything's nice and watertight. At this point, the window is ready to install, and we're going to use our standard window install method. We're going to put a couple of horseshoe shims right here on the sill. Then we're going to run a bead of Delta Tilex sealant all the way around on a U shape. On the outside of the flange, we're not going to use any caulking or adhesive at the sill. We're going to install the window, and then we're going to use Delta flashing over the flanges on the sides and the head. Again, the sill is going to be undone. And then very lastly, we're going to take one piece of this Delta multiband at the very head just to make sure the very head with this Delta flashing is totally sealed. And that's it, guys. Super easy method. These are really top quality waterproofing materials that are vapor permeable. These are going to work in all climate zones. I'm down here in Texas, but this could work just as well for you if you're in Minnesota or Alaska. Very good products from our partners over at Delta. Thanks to them for sponsoring this video, and we'll see you next time on The Build Show.